What's going on, guys? This is Michael MGF, and today, to kick off 2016, I'm going to be doing my first LEGO DC Superheroes Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice set review on the Heroes of Justice Sky High Battle. And the set number of this one is 76046. The recommended ages are 8 through 14, and it has a piece count of 517, while the price point is $59.99. And guys, you might notice that my voice is not 100%. I apologize for that, but hopefully it won't last for too long. Not feeling too great today, but this wave of sets, the Batman vs. Superman sets, they're overall really awesome, and they do have their fair share of problems, which I will go over, but for the most part, I would recommend each and every one of them, and I'm going to get into all the reasons as to why with the Heroes of Justice Sky High Battle and the other two sets when I know those reviews do show up. But yeah, this set, number one reason to pick up this set, this Wonder Woman minifigure, it's amazing. So on that note, let's get started. Okay, so our Ben Affleck Batman minifigure. This was definitely a little disappointing, especially when I saw it the first time at last year's Comic-Con, you know, when those photos came out, but it's like, this is basically just your exact same Batman minifigure that we've had for a few months now, just with a grapple gun and a new torso print. There's nothing else going on here, and that's really a shame, because I was hoping that LEGO maybe would have gone a little above and beyond for, you know, this new take on Batman that everyone's really excited for, but they did not. And I'm just, you know, the minifigure customizer in me is a little let down. I mean, the grapple gun, I should point out though, is definitely really nice. I'm glad to have this new piece in the sets, and you can see it has a regular grapple piece like at the end of it. And I'm not sure if this piece is actually new or not. I'm not sure if it was like a hairdryer and LEGO Friends sets or something, but definitely let me know down in the comments. Regardless though, it is very cool, and it'd be awesome to attach an actual like cable inside there or something, make some cool photos with that. But anyway, you can see that the cape, I should point out, is a pointed cape, and unfortunately, I'm not sure, you know, if the concept art LEGO group was basing this off of, you know, actually had a pointed cape. Ben Affleck does not have a pointed cape, you know, in the movie, so that kind of sucks. But I mean, if you have the Robin from the Batboat, you can just swap that out. Anyway, so the problems being, it's just kind of a shame that LEGO did nothing to change the head. I mean, you pull off the cowl here, and it's like the tan problem is still there. He still has white eyes, and I was hoping, you know, for a movie version of Batman, you know, they would have gone for the human eyes for once, and maybe given it a shot, or, you know, I don't know. It's just, I just really feel like you know, it just feels like a regular Batman minifigure, and I know you guys probably think I'm nitpicking, and that's fine, but it's just like, I'm going to be taking a completely different route with my Batman minifigure when I make it. And the torso print, though, let me just say, it's fantastic. That torso design is awesome, and the little pattern that the LEGO group has going through the whole thing is awesome, and I plan on using this torso and then extending that pattern all over the rest of the minifigure, because obviously the LEGO group really couldn't. And while it's really great to get black overmolded boots on this minifigure, it's just kind of a shame that they couldn't have continued the pattern, you know, onto the rest of the minifigure. I mean, because when it comes to arm printing especially, you'll notice even on Wonder Woman, you know, the arm printing can't go all the way around, so what's the point of having it just on one side of the arm? You know, it would be nice though to have that, you know, at least it would be better than nothing. It's just the back of the torso, let me point out, by the way, is also just as awesome, continuing that pattern. So I mean, at least there's that, but it's just, I don't know. I just really feel like this minifigure, while yes, it's totally understandable why he doesn't have any arm or leg printing, you know, that's fine. It's just the tan problem and the eyes, is what bothers me the most. It makes it feel a lot less like the movie version of Batman. It makes it feel a lot more like a regular Batman than, you know, the Ben Affleck Batman. And I don't know if you guys agree, and if you don't, that's totally cool. Let me know down in the comments. It's just, I was expecting a little bit more from the minifigure, and yeah. Next up, we have our second ever Henry Cavill Superman minifigure, and this is definitely a little bit better. It's just my problem being the entire head. It's like the torso is great, and I really love the new blue, the new blue lines that LEGO added to it, and the new little designs around the belt, and, you know, things like that you know, make it really stick out. And it kind of has the same problem though, how like you have that really awesome blue effect, and then it doesn't continue onto the rest of the minifigure. So it's definitely a little abrupt how the way these patterns just cut off. And I mean, you really can't fault LEGO for that, because again, you know, printing onto arms and legs, wrapping around, it's really not realistic. But the head, we get this awesome new hairpiece, and I'm so glad that we got this new hairpiece. It's just really great to finally get a new hairpiece, and I can't wait to use this hairpiece on future minifigures. It's just, it's not Henry Cavill. That's not his hairstyle in the movie, and I don't know if, you know, the concept art LEGO was going off of had his hairstyle actually looking just like this. Maybe that was the case, and it's really not their fault, but it's like, Even so, this is just not Superman's hairstyle in the movie, and I'm definitely not going to use this on my own minifigure, but I definitely do have some plans for what I'll be doing with this hairpiece, because, I mean, like I said, it's still an awesome hairpiece. I mean, this is still fantastic, and I can't wait to actually, continue using it on minifigures. It's just, it's not Superman's hairstyle, so it's just kind of awkward how they had this hairstyle debut with him, rather than, I don't know, maybe just going back to a regular Superman hairpiece, because it honestly would have looked better than this, and maybe they could have, like I said, debuted this with another character, but the head. What's up with the head? He's got a big smile on his face. Batman's trying to kill him in this movie. Lex Luthor is trying to kill him in this movie. Everyone on Earth hates him in this movie. He's not smiling. And the Man of Steel sets didn't have this problem. He was not smiling in the Man of Steel sets, but I mean, granted, it's Superman, and for kids, they want Superman to be smiling, and that's probably the only reason I would expect Lego would have gone with that, and that's totally okay and understandable. It's just awkward, to say the least. So if we go ahead and look at the alternative facial expression, though, you can see he does have the heat with the heat vision face that we've seen before. I don't believe there's any difference with it, but it is there, and it's just a little strange how he's got this big giant smile in this, for this to represent this incredibly dark version of the character in this really dark movie. But regardless, though, that's it for your new Superman minifigure. Overall, it's pretty awesome. Dude, our Gal Gadot Wonder Woman minifigure is awesome. This is the kind of effort I was hoping would have gone into the Batman and Superman minifigures, but man, Lego just really went above and beyond with this minifigure, and that's really great because there is so much to see on this minifigure that the Lego group has done. And just to get it out of the way, you can see she has a very basic sword, and we've seen that in God knows how many sets. We're just gonna pull that off for now. But you can see that she has an entirely new ABS hairpiece, and that's awesome because in the original leaked pictures, I thought that it was going to be rubber, but it's not. It is full ABS. It is an entirely new hairpiece. This is awesome. I mean, we get a new hairpiece for Superman, even though it may not be his hairstyle. It's really awesome, and we get this really new great hairpiece for Wonder Woman, which is perfect for the minifigure, and I'm so glad Lego made this for the character. And then the face really does nail Gal Gadot's likeness. I mean, that is really awesome, especially for an aggressive facial expression. The tiara is printed on there and has all kinds of detail within it, and you can see that the alternative facial expression, I guess this is actually the alternative facial expression, but the more calmed down, I guess, more preppy side is definitely really nice as well. And so, I mean, that's definitely a really great head, and I can't wait to use it on my actual custom minifigure of Wonder Woman. And I might go with a little bit more of a less aggressive and more, I guess, stern facial expression, but regardless, the torso, I should point out, is really, really awesome. That torso has so much detail on it, all these individual lines beneath the straps. I mean, you have all these different lines running through each bit of her gold armor. I mean, it's all there, and it all looks amazing, and that looks great. And you can see that the arm printing, there's even arm printing. Let's just acknowledge that there's arm printing on Wonder Woman. She's got her gauntlets. She's got the, I mean, it doesn't wrap all the way around, and like I said, that's really unrealistic for minifigures. Lego really can't do that. I'm just really glad they were able to at least do this and at least make something on her arms, because it looks really awesome. And of course, it is the same on the other arm as well. And you can see that her shield is really awesome. The shield is like, I mean, it has like this symbol of a bird on it. I don't actually know what it's meant to represent. You guys probably do and are probably cringing right now. But regardless, it's probably something that has to do with the mascara. I don't know. And then you have like all this really awesome like gold printing around it, all this really great detail. It's just, this minifigure is fantastic. And you can see that her legs have wraparound printing. It doesn't just, get like cut off or look inconsistent around the thighs and the knee areas. And you can see that there's actually like, it's pretty much seamless. I mean, you have like these tiny little spots where you can kind of see where the printing kind of, separates, but it's like barely even noticeable. It's awesome. And of course, it can't go around all four sides of the minifigure's legs. That's not possible either, just like the way arm printing really can't go all the way around. But it's just really great how Legos just really went above and beyond on this minifigure. Like I said, if we go ahead and turn the minifigure around, you can see that the torso printing on the back just continues to be fantastic and continues to be incredibly detailed and just really, really awesome. And I cannot wait to replicate this onto an area-like curved torso for my Wonder Woman minifigure that I'm planning for my showcase. So, holy crap, Lego really they have just completely outdone themselves on this minifigure, and I could not be happier. For our second to last minifigure, we have Lois Lane, and at first I was a little disappointed with this Lois Lane minifigure because you might notice something familiar about the head. It's not original, it's Claire's from Jurassic World, and at first I was like, Lego, really? But then the more I thought about it, I was like, it actually does kind of look like Amy Adams, just without the freckles. So I was actually, I'm okay with it, because if you remember the Man of Steel Lois Lane, that head was horrendous. It had these cheekbones, and it just looked horrible. So this is actually a really good use of a rehashed head. So it's like finally Lego has used a head, in the right way, and it's not like Mr. Luthor, who I'll get to in a second, that just, the rehashing a head sometimes works and sometimes, or if not more than half the time, does not. And thankfully, this is one of the cases where it actually does work out really well. So yeah, you'll notice that again, this is the same face as you remember it from the Jurassic World sets, and it does look okay for Lois Lane, as I'm saying here. And you can see you also have the more stern facial expression, so that's there as well. So yeah, there's that, and then the torso is really nice. She's got like the black jacket this time for the Dawn of Justice sets, and of course, the skin tone on it does suffer from the same problem that Lego has, as I've said many times, most notably on Batman, where you're trying to print a bright color onto a dark piece. It just doesn't work, so the skin tone looks really pale. And then in other cases, like when you're trying to print it onto a black head, it looks bad. So I mean, yeah, that's a problem I really hope Lego will eventually fix one day, because it's just so noticeable and so awful on so many great minifigures. But the design does continue onto the back of the torso as well, more simplistic, but still really nice. And yeah, then she also has a very basic camera piece with the white stud on it, as you guys have seen before. So I mean, even though the head is rehashed on Lois Lane, it's a really good use of a rehashed head. So yeah, that's pretty much it though for our Amy Adams Lois Lane for the Dawn of Justice sets, and I'm really glad they finally were able to improve on the character's design. And finally, we have our Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor. Hands down, the most disappointing minifigure out of all three Dawn of Justice sets. I mean, what happened? I understand that like Lego, they base a lot of what they do in their movie sets off of concept art that's given to them like a year in advance. And that's fine. Maybe Jesse Eisenberg was cast before, this design was made, or, after this design was made. But it's like, I really hope that's the reason, because if it's anything else, what happened? I mean, why? It's like when this face was introduced a few years ago, it was good and it was great for Bruce Wayne, and then it's like from that point forward, they have just abused it so badly, and in some cases it's not that bad. But then you have cases like this where they just flat out ruin the minifigure, because it's portraying Jesse Eisenberg to be a 40-year-old man, and it's just completely out of nowhere and just really odd. And then the hairpiece is totally expected, though. I mean, this is the hairpiece that I plan on using on my minifigure. I mean, this is fine. But it's like, dude, the face, what happened? I'm really curious to know, because it's just so disappointing. And there are so many other heads that Lego could have rehashed instead of this to make it look like Jesse Eisenberg. But again, I don't know when this design was made. He's got an alien conquest gun, another thing that I really hope gets discontinued in the near future, because it's just these are obnoxious and just like completely awful looking. So I mean, they started to use that black pistol more in the Civil War sets and in other superhero sets, and I mean, even Sabine had them in that Rebels set, so hopefully they'll start to get rid of these pistols soon, because they just look horrendous too. But it's like, the torso is okay, the design is very basic. I don't know why they went with this outfit. Again, I don't know when this design was made, because it seems that Jesse Eisenberg is wearing jackets in the movie and not anything like this. So I don't know, man. This minifigure just goes so beyond disappointing. It's just like, this is just flat out terrible. So hopefully, if you guys can get some satisfaction out of this minifigure and it doesn't bother you as much, that's great. But me, I am just so blown away by how terrible this is. So yeah, the Batwing is awesome though. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so we're going to break this up, and I'm going to start off with the Batwing, and this is definitely the Batwing and the Batmobile. These two builds, and obviously I don't have the Batwing with me right now, but those two builds as part of this wave of sets, they're definitely the best parts, and I know a lot of people actually really don't like the Batmobile or the Batwing. I'm not one of those people, because I mean, for a scaled down version, I think that this is absolutely fantastic. This entire build is just awesome, and you look at this thing, and they nail a lot of the design features that it seems to have in the movie, all the way down to how the wings are positioned. And by the way, they're not attached in any way. If you couldn't tell right there, there's like actually nothing attaching them to the front. And it's really cool. They have these like clear rods there to like hold the thing together, and it's overall a really solid build, if you ask me. And also you'll notice that I'll just start off with the cockpit. The cockpit is actually is on the Batmobile too. This is a couple of new pieces. One just mirrors the other. They're symmetrical, but yeah, you can open these up using like some basic connector pieces that they have set up, and they can be rotated a little bit and adjusted, and it's actually really nice the way they open it. And again, it's just like in the movie, and it's just really great. What I don't understand though is the blue cockpit area. I don't know why they went with that color choice. It's definitely really awkward. And also one small problem is there's no place for Batman to put his grapple gun, and that's just, you guys, if you've watched my reviews, you know that I absolutely love it when Lego actually gives you, slots and little spaces to put the accessories that they include in the set. But the Batwing is not one of those sets, and yeah, so you can just put Batman in there and he stays in just fine. And there's even a little like cross piece in the front there to keep his legs in place, and this definitely makes it easier and easier for for him to actually stay in there. But yeah, so then the control panel piece itself is okay. It's I mean, it's just like a little like scan of the Lex Luthor's helicopter, so it's really not that exciting, but it's in there, and that is a sticker. Speaking of stickers, there's one more on the Batwing. You can see there's the new bat symbol on the front there in front of the minigun, or actually behind the minigun. If we go ahead and close the cockpit though, which by the way closes really nicely and pretty smooth if you can just get it to, if you adjust it the right way and everything. But yeah, I'll just leave that the way it is for right now. You can see that the minigun is pretty awesome, and we've seen this before, this piece, but it's incorporated onto the set, and using the same basic, feature, the same mechanic. You spin this wheel back here, and like any other stud shooter, it fires the studs. So we're just going to go ahead and demonstrate that really quick, and you get the idea. I'm going to try not to lose any more studs or bump the camera again for that matter. So yeah, that's a thing, and now I'm missing a stud, and my OCD is going to kill me throughout the rest of this segment of the video. And anyway, there are these flaps right here, and the reason I'm going over these because they actually play into the next feature, which is the main playability feature of the set, if I might add. And these are fully posable on some ball joints as well, and you can just go ahead and lay those down just like that. And then on the back here, you have this little knob here, or I guess this little, this little peg with whatever you would like to refer to it as. And you just pull down on this thing, and the wings actually go into like a landed position, and it's really awesome. And it's just, it looks really great. And I honestly did not expect that the Batwing would do this in the movie. I'm hoping that it will, and this was not like based off some concept art where they were considering the idea. But yeah, I'm guessing the Batwing actually like looks like this when it's in its landed position, and some people are even speculating that it might even be the Batwing, and like it actually just like the like the Batmobile transforms into the Batwing. And yeah, so I mean that would be really cool. I would be totally down for that, and definitely using the exact same cockpit pieces really does point to that, given that the Batmobile has the exact same cockpit as well. But I mean, aside from that, that's really it for the Batwing. There's not much going on. You can see just a bunch of like Technic pieces back there to make that happen, and it's definitely a really nice and smooth mechanic. But I mean, aside from that, that's really it for the Dawn of Justice Batwing. It's more simple than you'd expect, but the build itself, the design, it's just all really awesome. And I know some people aren't a big fan of it. Like I said, I'm not one of those people. I think this is awesome. And of course, the LexCorp Helicopter. Now, this build is definitely not a reason to be excited for this set, because this is just your very basic, stereotypical like villain helicopter. And I'm hoping the reason that this was made was because maybe in the early stages of Batman vs Superman's production, they weren't totally sure if they were going to have Doomsday in the movie. Maybe they wanted to make sure everyone saw Doomsday for the first time in the third trailer, and therefore they left him out of the merchandise. Because I mean, it's not just that Doomsday is not in any of the Lego sets. He's not. There's no action figures of Doomsday or anything of the sort at the moment. And what kind of sucks though is the way Lego sets for movies works is you get one wave per movie. You have one wave for Man of Steel, you have one wave for Iron Man 3, one wave for Avengers, one wave for Avengers Age of Ultron. And so Dawn of Justice is the same thing, and we're not going to get a Doomsday big fig based off the movie unless he appears in a future movie or something, which really sucks, because this is not exciting, and nor is the damn forklift in the Batmobile set. So I mean, it's an unfortunate circumstance, and I have no idea why there's no Doomsday big fig. I'll be making my own for my own showcase, but instead we get this helicopter. So the helicopter cockpit here, you can open this up, and inside there's a steering wheel, because that's how you fly helicopters, is with a steering wheel, because logic. So that's inside there. I have no idea why, but you just put Lex Luthor in there, and he sits in. There's there's 2x2 available space of studs. Cockpit just folds over, just like that. On the sides, you can see we have a couple of stickers, the LexCorp logo, and in the movie there's no green when it comes to LexCorp. This is it's not like the comics where everything is green with Lex Luthor. I mean, he's just straight up, like, his main colors of his company seem to be black, white, and orange. So green is definitely really random and out of nowhere. Maybe the Lex Luthor's helicopter was going to be green in the movie or something. I don't know. In some basic concept art. But yeah, the propeller, there's the propeller spins. I mean, it works perfectly. There's not much to say about that. But then you can see on the back here we've got, like, I guess this little piece here to represent, I guess, like the engine, and so that's the thing. Propeller on the side here, of course. And then you have 4 flick fire fire missiles on both sides of this set, or of this build, and you can see that the flick fire missiles, you have a couple of basic like trans green ones, and then a couple more, but they have orange studs on them, so you can only assume that maybe these are more explosive, maybe, you know, I don't know, but clearly they're meant to represent kryptonite, and that's what LEGO's going for with this set, and that this helicopter must be like fully equipped with kryptonite. But it's like the one problem with the LexCorp helicopter, it's like you've got the Trinity, man, you've got the freaking Kryptonian being from another world with Krypton, and it's like you've got freaking Wonder Woman, the freaking warrior princess of Themyscira, and you have the Batwing, which is like, I mean, by itself is just like completely going to overwhelm Lex Luthor. And I mean, so like, you know, having flick fire, kryptonite missiles, it's not going to do a lot, you know, when you're going up against the entire Trinity. But that's pretty much how the flick fire missiles worked. If you really don't, you know, if you're not into LEGO sets and you've never seen them before. But anyway, I've talked way too long about this. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the box, instruction manual, comic book, extra pieces, and we'll wrap up this video. So the box art for this set, you can see, is taking place over Metropolis, and so I mean that's pretty cool. It's really awesome though, is the freaking Dawn of Justice logo in the corner. That is just so awesome to see on a LEGO set box. And so another little tidbit I want to point out that could be a potential spoiler for Dawn of Justice, and but I mean it's on the set box. You can see that he's bald. Lex Luthor is bald on the box here, and so that could very well mean that he loses his hair in the movie, like we're all, you know, imagining. But I mean, the hair that he's wearing on, you know, in the trailers does look pretty fake, so it's probably a wig, maybe. But regardless, him being bald in the corner here definitely points to something like that inevitably happening. And of course, we know he's gonna be bald. You know, Jesse Eisenberg shaved his head. We saw that one magazine cover at one point. So yeah, that's definitely gonna happen in the movie, and that's just in the corner of the box, and definitely worth pointing out. And then the guy at Barnes & Noble totally messed up the top of the box here, and you can see on the top of the box we've got Batman sporting the actual size reference, and then a nice little graphic of the four of them all fighting. And so I mean that's pretty awesome. So I guess, you know, them just going up against Lex Luthor, but yeah. So then the back of the box definitely points out what I was talking about a little bit ago, where Lex Luthor is just completely outgunned. I mean, Superman's just picking up the helicopter. He's just like being thrown out. I mean, Batman's already landed the Batwing. I mean, Wonder Woman's already right there to just like stab him. I mean, the dude's not going to have a great time in his little dinky helicopter. But anyway, we've got a couple of action shots here. Superman just smiling at Lois Lane, the person he loves, falling to her death and not knowing if she'll survive or not, even though he's about to catch her. And then a bunch of the features I already went over, along with another shot right here in the left side there of the Trinity. So pretty awesome box. No idea why I talked about it for that long, aside from the baldness. So you actually get two instruction manuals with the Sky High Battle, which is honestly really, really unnecessary. But we've got one for the helicopter, and so I mean it's definitely a very short build and not very long at all, which again I don't understand why it was necessary to have two books. But anyway, you can see we've got an advertisement here, you know, promo for the other three, or I guess the entire line rather, over here on the left, and then on the right we have lego.com/DC Superheroes, which has now been updated with some pretty awesome Dawn of Justice graphics. If you check that out, so that's pretty cool. And then the main book, if you ask me, which has the Batwing, the entire build of the Batwing on the back here. We've just got a couple of the features that are already on the box. Pretty much the exact same graphics, just enlarged on that side of the page, and nothing else. So yeah, no idea why, you know, having two was really that necessary, but it's a thing. Okay, so I'm going to do what I always do with the comics, and by the way, the cover of this one is definitely really awesome. And I'm just going to flip through it and let you guys pause if you want to take a look at these pages. But this is definitely leading to some speculation that the whole first fight sequence might actually be like really set up, like Batman might like have put a lot of different weapons scattered all over Gotham, and like he just kind of turned Gotham into an arena because there are like guns on rooftops, and maybe that's why the Clash of Heroes set has like some guns on this one, like fence piece that you'll see in that review. But that would definitely be really cool if Batman has just like turned Gotham into an arena if he's, you know, for the first fight with Superman. But yeah, so that's you have the checklist on the back here, and it's quite literally a checklist this time because you have all these little separate boxes and little check marks next to them for you to do. So I mean that's definitely pretty cool, and this is honestly one of the better comic books I think we've had in a long time. The extra pieces are pretty basic and honestly kind of boring, but you can see we've got a lot of extra studs, a couple little connectors, one of these ball pieces, and then cheese slopes. I mean, nothing really that exciting, other than you do get an extra sword for Wonder Woman. So I mean, if you want to have Wonder Woman dual wielding her swords, that's definitely an option for you. But yeah, so do I recommend this $60 Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice set? Yes. Absolutely, because of this Wonder Woman minifigure, because of just, you know, it being overall a really solid set, and aside from the minor problems that the minifigures might have, or aside from, you know, the little things that, you know, aren't in the set or how it's set up, it doesn't matter. It's definitely, at the end, it doesn't matter. It's a really great $60 set, and it's a really great, you know, set that represents Dawn of Justice, especially with that Batwing and the Trinity. So, I mean, I would definitely go for this set personally. So, I mean, yeah, that's it though, guys, and we're gonna go ahead and finish up this video.
Man won't kill God. The devil will do it.
So where is he? Alright guys, and there you go, my review on the Heroes of Justice Sky High battle from the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice wave of sets, and I'm going to be criticizing these sets a lot, and there's going to be a lot of nitpicking involved, and hopefully you guys understand that these reviews are coming from the minifigure customizer and just the person that just sees things differently than a lot of people, I suppose. So hopefully you guys can understand that, because I just want to, you know, clarify that, because I know I probably really don't say that enough in my reviews, especially at the end of them anyway. So yeah, if you enjoyed the review though, or maybe found it informative, if you plan on getting this set, maybe this review helped you in deciding, definitely let me know by dropping this video a like below, and or your opinion on the set and its minifigures, whatever you want to talk about down in the comments. It's all welcomed and very much appreciated, guys. But 2016, what am I doing? I am working on finishing up the collaborative minifigures for Halo 5 Guardians, finally getting back to work on those minifigures, making Spartan Locke from Saunders Sculpt, and then also Josiah, Bricks Alive, he made a really incredible Arbiter Sculpt. Can't wait for you guys to see that, along with a really awesome Master Chief minifigure in one big showcase video at the end of the month, hopefully. And then also making a couple Deadpool minifigures for February, and I'm also getting started on my own Batman vs. Superman minifigures, especially now that I have the actual minifigures themselves to work off of. So yeah, but aside from that though, guys, that pretty much does it for my first video in 2016. This is going to be my fastest year ever, and when I say that, it's just everything's going to be really fast paced. I have a lot of plans for this year, and it's going to be really jam packed, and I hopefully you guys stick around with me for the entire ride, because it's going to be awesome. So that's it, guys, and I'll see you later. All right. Bye. Oh God, I can't do it. Okay, not today. I'll see you guys later. Guys, it's Macleod. Oh my God, I really do sound sick, don't I? Shit. Man and Superman, blah, 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 blah. And set number for this one is 756. That's 76, Ross. Gosh damn it. Okay, that went well. Why are you smiling? They hate you.
I can't stop.
One hell of a design. I mean, she's got a really, that just wobbled quite a bit. Oh my God.